I'm officially with Team TAKOMO.
TAKOMO Irons. I signed with TAKOMO.
TAKOMO Golf.
Welcome to a What TAKOMOs Are in the Bag.
These are the TAKOMO 101.
TAKOMO Golf. Now we're both rocking the irons.
The TAKOMO Irons.
TAKOMO. I've been hearing so much about TAKOMO Golf for the last couple months, and I have one burning question. Are these clubs actually that good, or is this just really good marketing? To answer that, let me get out of this TV. In today's video, I'm going to be going through the online fitting process for a set of TAKOMO irons, and I'm going to blindly order whatever it recommends. Once the clubs get here, we're going to take them through an unboxing, take them to the range, play a few holes with them, and give a comprehensive review and answer that question. Are these actually good irons, or is this just really good marketing? If you want to skip the fitting portion of the video, feel free, but right now I'm going to go on their website and do whatever it tells me to do based on the things I'm looking for in a set of irons. Stick around to the end of the video because I'm actually going to be announcing a little giveaway that's coming soon. So here we go. TAKOMO. Let's find out. Now, in order to get the full TAKOMO experience, I'm going to be doing the online fitting tool, and I'm going to purchase whatever it tells me to purchase, blindly trusting the system. So first I'm going to fill out this questionnaire. I am 27 years old, I'm male. I play about a lot of rounds a year. I typically shoot between like an 83 and a 90. My 7-iron swing speed is actually over 90, it's a 95. The things I care the most about are distance control, forgiveness, and a workable club. I want to play like a medium ball flight. I'd say I have a moderate tempo. I'm about 6 feet 2 inches tall, and every inch counts. Every last inch counts, okay? 37 inches from my hands to the floor. I have a medium large glove size, and I'm a righty. Let's see what this spits out. All right, here we go. Calculating recommendations. Here we go. Here are my results. The TAKOMO 301 CB irons at a 1/2 inch longer with a X stiff shaft and 3 degrees upright. I'm just gonna order them. I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't necessarily feel right. Cavity back at my skill level feels like we're asking for trouble, but I'm trusting this process and I'm blindly putting my faith in TAKOMO, so I'm gonna order these as is, and now comes the painful part. We're gonna have to wait a few weeks because these are custom clubs. So now's the time for me to be refreshing the order status and the tracking number online, and we're gonna wait till these things finally come. Stay tuned.
4 to 6 weeks later.
It literally feels like Christmas morning. The TAKOMO irons are here. I've heard so much hype about TAKOMO over the past couple of months that I cannot wait to crack these open. Let's see what these first impressions look like. Okay, so in this box we've got a few goodies along with the irons. I did not expect this. This is a nice touch. Oh, we've got a nice simple TAKOMO hat, just the white TAKOMO logo. This is like, this little stuff, it makes a difference. Like, I'll wear this. This is nice. Next up, we've got a little TAKOMO towel. Nothing crazy, just a simple black towel. Some clean TAKOMO badging. I like this TAKOMO. A lot of brands don't do this. This is nice. Now for the most important part. Let's see what these irons look like. This has got to be like one of the best feelings in the world. That's a pretty club. It's just a pretty golf club. That is nice. All right, let's get the rest of these clubs out of here. There we have it, the entire set of TAKOMO irons. Let's get out to the range and let's see how these actually perform. I cannot freaking wait to hit these. Let's throw them in the bag, get to the range. It's time to try out these clubs for the first time. I'm gonna start with the 7-iron, hit a few shots and see how we feel. This may be premature, but these feel insane. I know it's only one shot in, but from a feel perspective, that was amazing. Still felt really great. We're getting a good sample size here. I've pushed one, I've pulled one, I've thinned one, and I've pured one. We've run the gambit. Okay, first impressions after hitting a bunch of shots with this. It's more forgiving than I expected, but it's definitely less forgiving than what I'm used to hitting. Typically play the Mizuno 225. They're like a really hollow bodied with a bunch of tech behind them. This is clearly more of just a forged club, but the feel is incredible. When you hit a good shot with these, it is, they say nothing feels like a Mizuno, but like the TAKOMO feels like a Mizuno. Feels amazing. All right, now onto the 4-iron. right, we're gonna wrap up with some 9 irons and then ultimately give our feedback of our very first range session. All right, after hitting about 50 shots with these irons, I have a few initial impressions. First of all, I can't get over how good these things look. They're just clean, they're really pretty clubs. It's something you'd be proud pulling out of the bag. Second of all, the feel is fantastic when you hit it well. That said, as you could probably tell from my swing, I don't always hit it well. I rarely hit it well. I almost never hit it well. And I could definitely tell that the 301 CBs are less forgiving than clubs I've historically played. Now that's not necessarily a reflection on TAKOMO though, because these are more of a player's iron. I don't really know why the online fitting tool put me into these clubs. The other thing I noticed right off the bat is the distance is just wildly different from what I get with my Mizunos. Again, not TAKOMO's fault. These are weaker lofted and there's less technology in the club face. That being said, a really good player I think would absolutely love these clubs. The thing that surprised me the most though is I didn't feel like my misses were as bad as I thought they should be. I wouldn't necessarily equate this with a forgiving iron, but so far the results have been pretty forgiving. And the misses were something I think I could handle on course. First impressions from the range, I think these are phenomenal clubs. Now we're gonna actually take them onto the course, play a few holes, and see how that goes. Next up, we're gonna play 3 holes with strictly TAKOMO irons, see how they perform on the course. We're gonna start with a 4 iron. This is a 380 yard par 4. It's going for a little draw down the middle. Or chunked it. No iron's gonna do much when you chunk it. Totally chunked it. So we've got 228 yards left. I don't think I can get there, but I gotta go 4 iron again. That got there. That was a great shot. I just pulled that a little left. That felt really, really good. Surprised by the distance. I think I got a little bit of a flyer, but that shot felt incredible. I actually hit that 4 iron about 205 yards, which I'm pretty happy with considering that they're way, way weaker lofted than what I'm used to. I'm about 20 yards away. I'm gonna use a pitching wedge. Typically, I would use my Vokies here, but I just wanna get a feel of how these perform. I'm not gonna show my putting because this isn't really about how low I can go. This is really just about how these clubs perform on course. Came out a little hot, about 12 feet long, felt really good. So far, hole 1, I'm pretty impressed by these clubs. Now let me address the elephant in the room. I am not a great golfer. I'm a very average golfer. My ball striking is not amazing. My swing is riddled with flaws. So just to get ahead of it in the comment section, I know this isn't the ultimate test of the clubs because I have flaws in my game, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing most of the people watching are also not scratch golfers. So hopefully this review is really relatable and really realistic for like an average golfer that's thinking about trying these clubs out. Now let's get on to hole 2. It's a par 3. All right, we got a par 3, 136 yards. I got a pitching wedge. Let's see if this gets there. Not really familiar with the distances on these yet. Very, very, very short. I think I kind of got under that. I'm gonna hit one more. There's an element of just getting rid of the ego with these. Like, I'm not gonna hit as far. I just need to accept that. That said, I didn't strike it that well, so let's try one more pitching wedge. On the green, back left. I hit that a little thin. I have to say, I don't necessarily love the shape of this pitching wedge at address. I really like the longer irons. Something about the 9 iron and the pitching wedge just visually don't necessarily agree with my eye, but overall kind of got away with one there. Thin to win on the green. Next up, we've got a 308 yard par 4. I'm gonna hit a 4 iron, which is actually the club I'd hit here normally. There's a lot of trouble left, a lot of trouble right on this hole. Pretty much exactly what I wanted to do. Got it a little bit off the toe, as you can see, but I actually got away with it, which is a pretty good testament to the forgiveness of these clubs. I'm curious to see how far that went though. One thing I'm noticing is like, there's kind of two different kinds of forgiveness. One is directional, right? Is it gonna go too far left or too far right? The other kind of forgiveness is distance forgiveness. That's where I feel like there's the biggest difference between these and clubs like my Mizuno's. I still feel like directionally I'm getting away with the mishits, but the distance really suffers when you don't hit these properly. Being said, we are in the middle of the fairway with a really good look in. Overall, got away with that one. I only ended up hitting that 4-iron about 205 yards, and that was downhill, so I clearly lost some distance there. We've got about 145 yards in. I've actually got an 8-iron in hand, which feels weird. I would typically take a 9 here, but I just need to accept the fact that these are weaker lofted clubs, and I'm not exactly the best ball striker. Here we go, 8-iron. Oh, it felt so good. Oh. Well, that ball's gone. Genuinely really happy with that shot, not the result. It hit the cart path and bounced into the water, but from a feel perspective, that felt really good. The strike felt good, the distance was right. I just pushed it right. Overall, so far, I'm pleasantly surprised by these irons on course. One last hole and then we'll wrap this review up with some final impressions. All right, next up we got a par 4. It's 400 yards. I'm actually gonna hit a 6-iron though, just to test a different club. So let's see how this goes. I gotta say, I love how these irons look over the ball. It's got a nice thin top line, but they don't look too intimidating. Definitely smaller profile than I'm used to, and I can tell there's less club to work with, but it's not as intimidating as I expected. Just flared it right. I'm leaving the face open or pushing it or something. Not the club's fault, my fault. Didn't feel great. After some nice Texas rollout, that 6-iron did end up going about 200 yards, even though I pushed it. I've got 205 in. I've got a 5-iron in hand. I should probably be hitting a 4, but I want to test the 5. Oh, that felt so good. I flew the green. I hit that so well. Flew the green, long right, but that kind of wraps up the on-course test. Now let's talk about my final thoughts. Now with all my club reviews, I apply the 7 F's to club reviews, where I talk about the form, features, function, feel, forgiveness, finances, and then give my final score. Let's start with form. I'm gonna sound like a broken record at this point, but I'm giving these a solid 9 out of 10 from form perspective. I think they're beautiful, they're simplistic, they're classic, they're clean, and they're not trying to do too much. 9 out of 10. Now feature-wise, I'm giving this a 6 out of 10, and that's not TAKOMO's fault at all. They're just really simple irons. There's not a lot of technology packed into the head. They don't claim for there to be, but overall, nothing really stand out or special about the features. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, but that's not bad. Now let's talk about function, and this is where I'm gonna give these an 8 out of 10. I was genuinely impressed with how well I hit these clubs for my skill level. They performed better than I expected, and I'm still blown away by the price point, which I'll talk about later. So I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10 from a functionality perspective. Now, where these things really stand out is feel. I'm giving them a 9 out of 10, and I don't know if there's a better feeling club out there. I've never hit one, but I gotta leave a little room in case there is one. But these felt amazing when I hit them well. That said, I didn't hit them well that often, and when you don't hit them well, you can feel it, but still, the feel was phenomenal. 9 out of 10. Now let's talk forgiveness, and this is where I kind of break this into 2 areas. Like I said, the left-right forgiveness was really impressive to me. I feel like my misses, I didn't necessarily get punished, but the distance forgiveness, I really took a hit on my off-centered strikes. So I'm gonna go with a 6 out of 10 from forgiveness, which is solid for this kind of club. And now let's talk about where these clubs really stand out from anything else on the market, which is the price. These were $600 for an entire set of irons, which I genuinely just don't understand how TAKOMO can do that. I guess the direct-to-consumer model allows for that. I think that's a 10 out of 10. I think that's world-class. I think that's phenomenal, and I'm all for making an incredibly expensive sport a little bit more accessible. So TAKOMO, I love what you're doing. And that leaves us with our final score of exactly 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is the highest score I've had for a club review yet. These clubs are freaking awesome. And I think this leaves the final question, smash or pass. Is this a set of clubs I'm gonna smash on putting in my bag, or pass on putting in my bag? And I'm actually gonna pass, and that is not TAKOMO's fault. That is my fault. But this does highlight one glaring issue with TAKOMO. There's no way I should be playing these 301s. I should probably be in the 101s or the 101Ts, and because there's no opportunity to get fit and it's just an online tool, that allows for golfers to end up in the wrong set of clubs. There's also no way to try these out before you purchase. Granted, you can try their 7-iron and kind of return it, but it creates a big gap. If I were to hit these in a store, I probably would not opt for the 301s. I would go for a different set, which makes this feel a little bit risky
be for a golfer that just has to blindly purchase a set online. Other than that, Takomo, you've done a phenomenal job. And all these YouTubers that rave about you, I think they're telling the truth. These clubs are really, really, really nice. I'm a huge fan. I'm actually gonna be ordering all the other different kinds of TAKOMO irons and reviewing those as well. And honestly, a little part of me is hoping one of them finds their way into the bag. So there you have it, 8 out of 10 TAKOMO Golf. You are not all marketing. You actually make a phenomenal product. If you are in the market for a set of irons and you don't want to pay $2,000 like I did for my Mizunos, I would give TAKOMO a look. So thank you so much for watching. Stick around for more content and club reviews. Like I said, I ordered the TAKOMO driver, the TAKOMO wedges, 4 other sets of TAKOMO iron, and some other really cool stuff. So please like and subscribe. Guys, I'm trying to grow my channel and it is not easy. And I'm doing my best to provide really, really helpful videos coming from the perspective of someone who's not that good at golf. So if you remotely like the content today, please like, comment, and subscribe and share this with your friends. Remember, these are the good old days, and I will see you next time on Good Old Days Golf. Peace.
As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am going to be doing a giveaway. So when I hit 10,000 subscribers, and I know we've got a long way to go, that's a long ways away, but as soon as I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away an entire bag of TAKOMO clubs. That means driver, irons, and wedges. So if you want to be entered in that video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and turn on that notification bell so you're alerted of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.